The camera drifts slowly into your lower abdomen, moving closer toward a small, expandable organ, your bladder. At first, everything is calm. A warm liquid begins to collect inside, drop by drop, quietly filling the space. The bladder walls stretch gently, effortlessly adapting, designed for this exact purpose. Deep within its lining, tiny pressure receptors activate. Not suddenly, but gradually. They begin sensing change, tracking volume, measuring tension. Then, a signal is sent. It travels upward through delicate nerve pathways, reaching your spinal cord and finally your brain. And your brain understands it instantly. You need to urinate. But it doesn't feel urgent yet, so you ignore it, just for now. The camera stays inside, watching as more fluid enters. The bladder expands further, stretching beyond its relaxed state. Muscles around it begin to respond, tightening slightly, maintaining control. And that mild signal? It starts to grow. Not painful, not overwhelming, just noticeable. A quiet reminder. But again, you ignore it because you're busy, because it's inconvenient, because it can wait. And your body listens. The bladder continues expanding, its walls stretching tighter now. Inside, the detrusor muscle, the main muscle responsible for emptying, begins preparing, subtly contracting. But the sphincter muscles remain closed, holding everything in. Now tension begins to build. Not just pressure, but resistance. Two systems working against each other, one trying to release, the other forcing it to hold. And this is where the shift begins. The camera zooms deeper into the bladder lining itself. Cells that once sat comfortably are now being compressed. Blood flow to certain areas starts to slow, just slightly. Oxygen delivery becomes limited in tiny regions. Nothing dramatic yet, but enough to create stress. And still, you feel in control. But inside your body, the work is increasing. Now the signals intensify. Nerves fire more frequently, sending stronger messages to your brain. The urge becomes harder to ignore, but you push it aside again. And the bladder keeps stretching, approaching its limit. The camera pulls back slightly, revealing something most people never think about. This pressure doesn't exist in isolation. It begins affecting everything around it. Nearby organs shift slightly, adjusting to the expanding space. Meanwhile, your kidneys continue working. They don't stop. They keep producing urine, sending more fluid down into an already full system. And now, there is nowhere else for that volume to go. Pressure builds faster, stronger, more dangerous. Inside the bladder lining, tiny micro-stresses begin to form. The protective barrier, designed to shield against toxins and bacteria, starts weakening, not breaking, but becoming vulnerable. And if bacteria are present, this is the moment they need. The camera dives deeper into the cellular layer. Immune cells begin to activate, recognizing potential threats. Inflammation starts forming, small, localized, silent. You might feel discomfort now, a dull pressure, a growing urgency, but still you hold it, and the risk continues to rise. The detrusor muscle, once strong and responsive, is now overstretched, like a rubber band pulled too far, too often. It begins losing its ability to contract efficiently. And over time, something subtle but dangerous happens. Your bladder starts losing sensitivity. The signals to your brain become less accurate, less reliable. The urge may come later than it should, or suddenly disappear even when the bladder is full. The camera follows the nerve pathways, showing this breakdown in communication. And this is where control becomes unpredictable, because now your body's warning system is no longer precise. And then something even more concerning begins. The pressure inside the bladder starts pushing backwards. Urine can move slightly in reverse, up toward the ureters, the tubes that connect to your kidneys. The camera follows this reverse flow, climbing upward, where pressure should never exist. Your kidneys, highly sensitive to even small changes, now begin to feel that stress. Filtration becomes less efficient. Waste removal slows down. Not immediately noticeable, but gradually, your entire system is working harder to maintain balance. The camera returns to your bladder, now under strain. Its walls stretched beyond what feels normal. Elastic fibers, once strong and flexible, are starting to weaken, not suddenly, but gradually. Over time, the bladder begins to adapt the wrong way. It holds more, but functions less efficiently. And this is where things start to feel different. Sudden urgency hits, stronger than before, harder to control, because the system is no longer balanced. Muscles fatigue, signals misfire, timing breaks down, and sometimes control slips. Not because your body failed, but because it adapted to repeated stress. The camera slowly moves through the system, from bladder to ureters, up toward the kidneys, revealing something most people never see: a system under silent pressure. No alarms, no immediate pain, just slow, hidden damage building over time, until one day symptoms appear: a burning sensation, frequent urges, or the feeling that you can't fully empty. And by then, your body has already been compensating for too long. But here's what most people don't realize: this can still be reversed. The camera begins to stabilize. The bladder slowly relaxes. Pressure starts to drop, because the moment you listen to your body, everything begins to reset. Muscles return to normal tension. Blood flow improves. Oxygen reaches the tissues again. Cells begin repairing, restoring their protective barrier. Hydration helps flush the system, reducing bacterial buildup, supporting recovery. And balance returns, not instantly, but steadily. This is how your body heals, not through extreme changes, but through simple awareness. Because something as small as ignoring the urge may feel harmless in the moment, but inside your body it creates a chain reaction that builds over time. The camera slowly pulls back, revealing the entire system working together again, and leaving you with one simple truth: listen to your body early or deal with the consequences later. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe.